Hey guys, Aaron Schober and Josh Lucas from Sword, Carolina. We're covering the Nachreisen today. Nachreisen is traveling after, following after. There's a couple of basic techniques, specific techniques that we will cover today, but Nachreisen is also a principle. The principle of following after someone is a strategy that you would employ in your fencing. So the first form of Nachreisen that we have is if someone cuts at you and actually their point passes you and clears through. So what this is going to be if someone is cutting down all the way to the ground, if they're cutting down to Alber or something on the ground. It could be in the opposite direction too, but in either case their point has passed you and is not immediately threatening you. This could be if Josh was cutting short, but is very likely going to be he was trying to hit me and I've stepped back to avoid him. Once his point clears me, I'm not in immediate danger, and so I can step forward and cut to him before he has a chance to come back up again. So let's do that a little bit faster. What we like to do here is I like to take, instead of taking a full step back so that he misses and then having to take a full step forward again, I like taking what we think of as like a half step back just to get just out of range so that he misses, and then I can come in immediately with a counterattack. Like so many of the techniques, this only works if you do it quickly. So I want to get just out of range. I don't want to take a huge step backwards because then when I come forward, he's going to have time to react to it. I want to get just clear of his range so that I can come in with my own attack and hopefully hit him. The other form of Nachreisen that we have is to attack someone's preparation, to attack them while they're preparing for an attack. So this is what we think of as like chambering the attack or chambering the round. So if you see someone pulling back into their guard to attack, as they're pulling back, they're not being a threat to you. And so if I am ready to attack instantly while they're moving backwards, I can actually follow them and come forwards while they're moving backwards. And so I stand a very good chance of hitting them in that circumstance, but even if they come forward at that point, I'm in a good position to defend myself. If they go on the defensive, they're going to have to really probably over-defend, which is going to open up lots more options for me on the other side. So I'm attacking into their preparation. If they're pulling back for a cut, I'm probably going to come in with a cut. If he's pulling back to thrust, I'm probably going to come in and thrust at the same time. So I'm beating the attack with the attack. So I beat cuts with cuts, thrust with thrusts. That's not necessarily the only way of doing that. I could, if he's pulling back for a thrust, I could probably just cut right into him and still end up in a position to block it. But that's how it's given us for the text. So that's probably the way we'll start doing it.
Yeah, a good way to do it.
Yeah. Stick with the text first, and then you can wing it after you master that.
The type of Nachreisen Aaron was just talking about, to where attacking when someone is pulling back to chamber their attack, really plays off a video Aaron did recently. It's very simple, but it's something that maybe not a lot of people think about, is the tell. Some people have tells of how they move their foot, how they move their sword right before they make their attack. And honestly, that is a situation to where if you're ready, you can practice the Nachreisen of them pulling that sword back. It plays off of that very well. Everything we've done so far has been from the Fechten, to where Aaron and I are just outside of range. And it was actually good, the way that we drilled that in class was we were at the Fechten in long point and would have someone pull back and then the opposite person respond with the correct response. So that might be a way that you can drill it. But we've done everything from the Fechten so far. You can actually perform Nachreisen from the bind with the same principle of them pulling back. So if I cut at Aaron and Aaron has come, his point has gone past me, what I can actually do is do an immediate, in the knock follow-up attack of pulling back and attacking here. So if his point has come past me, but before he can do anything else, I can come and attack right here, just the immediate attack. And of course it has to be quick. Everything has to be quick. So if I sit there and think about it, he's going to be moving on to the next thing. I'll have missed that opportunity to follow after his versetzen. Okay. So if we enter the bind and Aaron's point is threatening me, and this actually switches, but if it is threatening me, I'm going to have to do something here. Aaron has the opportunity to follow after to perform the Nachreisen, because if I try and leave the bind to cut somewhere else, he immediately can attack as I'm pulling back. Same thing, if I try and wind to thrust, he can immediately respond to me pulling back to try and deal with the point that he's put on line. So that's where it switches a little bit in the example, but you can see how in the pulling back motion, Aaron gains the initiative to perform the Nachreisen. So hopefully from those examples you saw what Aaron was saying earlier, to where Nachreisen is really a principle of traveling after someone's motion than it is any one specific technique. And hopefully you'll be able to play around with it with your group, you know, at home with whatever you got going on, and leave us some comments about how you guys are doing that. So we'll see you next week. Sword Carolina, we're out.